packing up, loading up my old truck to roll down that road. Your picture on the dashboard, thinking about how long I'll be before I get home. Well, I set my visor for the sunrise as it burns into my eyes, and the thought of you starts burning on my mind. I'm rolling. Well, I'm rolling down this interstate, trying to get back to you. That's why I'm rolling. It's hard work and I guarantee that it's a damn hard life, but still I'm rolling. From the first time that I shifted gears, it burned into my soul. Guess you could say that's how I like to roll. I'm rolling.
It's been a bit of a heavy week amid the Independence Day goings-on, trucking news, and all the rest, everybody. That song right there, though, that is one with a whole lot of joy and never fails to get the spirits up. As its writer, singer, and performer, the great Bill Weaver, told me about its origins. Its always headed home aspects since the moment he conceived I'm Rollin' so many years ago now. Yet, it also brings a bit of a tear to my eye this week, I'll be honest. Bill Weaver passed away this past Monday, June 30th. And like our own long-haul Paul Marhoefer, the news came to me from a mutual friend, namely Paul himself, by way of Tony Justice, who shared some recollections of Bill on his Facebook page. Justice's words, I know, ring out for so many who knew Weaver. Quote, I can't even begin to find the words to express what he meant to me, Justice said, going on. Best word would simply be friend. Family kind of friend. My best friend. Hard telling the miles me and old Bill covered while trucking and talking on the phone, a few 100,000 easily. Or how many times he made me laugh. He is irreplaceable and will leave an empty spot in my heart that will never be able to be filled again. Tony Justice went on to finish this way. Until we embrace again on the other side, I'll be jamming your music, brother. This ain't goodbye, it's a see you later. Weaver leaves behind his wife, Carol Ann, and so many friends and family members. Our hearts are with them all, no doubt. Today, I just wanted to celebrate something he leaves behind. Something that Justice invoked there, that music. It was some kind of music, no doubt. Among my most enduring memories of Bill is being a hanger-on, 2016, outside on the porch of the Omni Hotel in Dallas with him and Tony Justice, and others among the guitar-playing set around the Great American Trucking Show that year. Fortunately, I've got some scratchy audio to share it with you. Bill's rendition I heard him do several times through the years of Hurricane, made famous in the early 1980s by Leon Everett. Bill would go on to bring Everett himself to the Gats parking lot stages a couple years on, in fact. What follows is a late in the evening outside jam that morphs into another of my favorites among Bill Weaver's songs, the latter part of it from a Gats solo performance.
Another sip of whiskey, then he looked at me and said, son, I was born in the rain by the palms of green underneath that Louisiana moon. I don't mind the strain from the hurricane, boy, she comes round every June. That high black water, she's the devil's daughter, she's hard and she's cold and she's mean. Nobody's taught her that it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans. Well, I-40 westbound out of Tennessee, across Mississippi, where I need to be. I was hammered down Jackson when he met me head on and he flipped it around. He was slinging bud in the media, disco lights on for some dancing bud. Oh, don't stop me now, don't stop me. I'm out here trying to feed the family. You got your job and I got mine. I just need to cross the Arkansas line, get this one off, get another one on, take 34 off. Once again I'm gone. Got no time, please leave me alone. I won't. Go on, leave me alone now. Well, I was finally across the Mississippi, hoping that West Memphis Gill wasn't going to be open, but I heard the beat. The red light flashed. If I pull in here, they're going down my ass. Boot skill, trouble like hell. If they catch me now, I'm going to go to jail. Oh, Lord, don't stop me now, Mr. D.O.T. I screwed that up, didn't I, Taylor? Don't leave me alone now. Hey, Mr. D.O.T., don't stop me. I'm out here trying to feed a family. You got your job and I got mine. I just need to cross the Arkansas line. Get this one off, get another one on. Take 34 off, once again I'm gone. Got no time, just leave me alone, won't you, Mr. D.O.T.? Don't leave me alone now, I wasn't doing much wrong. Couple blown tires. Open can of oatmeal walking, sitting on the dash. Bad brakes. Don't leave me alone now. Hey, baby, can you come to West Memphis and bond me out of jail? They're picking on me again.
Bill Weaver's wife, Carol Ann, said she's planning a memorial service for Bill, likely for early August, and had Weaver's International in the shop for a service, looking at a likely sale fairly soon. It wasn't due for service, she said, yet it had been sitting for a year. Questions about the rig, Carol Ann referred to Taylor Barker, fellow trucker-songwriter and also a great friend and collaborator of Weaver. The truck, Carol Ann said, was Weaver's pride and joy. Carol Ann offered these words to mark his memory, quote, "Bill was a very special character who impacted everyone he met," she said. "He never met a stranger and greeted everyone with open arms of compassion. I am so thankful and blessed that I had him in my life for 16 years, and he helped me become a better and stronger person. He helped me find my way back to God, and to me, that is priceless. I want to say thank you to all his fans who supported his love of music and appreciated his honest, heart-ridden words he shared through songwriting. He had a brilliant mind, so smart, yet humble. I kid with everyone that he was my encyclopedia." Carol Ann went on to reference something Tony Justice also noted in his recollection of Weaver. "It's true that he said it near every time I ever spoke to him in person, most often delivered in my memory right at the moment where you get ready to part ways. And that is, remember to shake a stranger's hand. You might accidentally make a new friend." Bill, thank you for being one to me, that's sure. After the break, we'll look back on 2 podcast conversations with Bill Weaver himself from 2016 about his Every Mile I Drive record, then from 2018 about Burning the Old School Down, his second record. Keep tuned.
High heat and low lubricity can break your diesel fuel down fast. Summer driving means crowded roads, more stress, dust, and a bigger risk of costly engine damage. Howe's Diesel Defender protects from the inside out, cleaning, lubricating, and fighting injector wear before it starts. And now, choose a size that fits your ride. 64-ounce, 32-ounce, and the all-new 15-ounce for diesel pickups and smaller tanks. Warm weather's here. Defend your diesel with Howe's. Available at retailers nationwide and on Amazon.
Find more information about Overdrive Radio sponsor Howe's full line of fuel treatments at HOWES, HowesProducts.com. Now, dropping back into year 2016, we're talking about the I'm Rolling track on Every Mile I Drive to start the conversation here. Here we go.
I'm flattered the trucking industry's liking this. I really am. I'm really humbled by that.
Tell me a little bit about that song. When did you write it? Where'd it come from?
Well, that particular song, I was sitting actually last year when those 2 bad wrecks happened. A couple of days apart up in Cheyenne, Wyoming, on Interstate 80, between Cheyenne and Laramie. Okay. The weather was getting bad, and I had that rhythm in my head for a new song, and I had that tagline, "I'm rolling." And I shut down because of that weather. I didn't want to get in an accident. Of course, I pulled a hazardous tank. And shut down at Love's there at Cheyenne. And it just flowed out of into my ink pen. And it just worked out great. I mean, It was one of them 30-minute songs, you know. I sit there and had it down, and I was putting a video up on YouTube just immediately after that. Of course, the studio cut sounds a whole lot better than what I put up on YouTube, but it's just one of them deals about, you know, all of us hate leaving the house. We're all drivers. We know we've got to do it. Every mile I'm moving, I'm headed back to my beautiful Carolina. You know.
I'm rolling. Well, I'm rolling down this interstate, trying to get back to you. That's why I'm rolling. It's hard work, and I guarantee that it's a damn hard life, but still I'm rolling.
It kind of feels like almost like there is that aspect of you're always headed back home some fashion or other, even when you're leaving. But it feels kind of it kind of feels like a celebration of that idea, that song.
Oh, it is. It's a fellow that's happy. He knows he's got his trip started, and he's on his way home. It might be 3 weeks before he gets there, but he knows every minute he's driving, he's on his way home.
Well, tell me, is this your Every Mile I Drive here? Is this the first full-length record you've done, Bill?
It is. Actually, we've been working on this for right at about the 1st of September. It would have been 3 years, and every time we've got started into this, Todd, something tragic has happened. It's been kind of crazy. My mom took ill and had a little minor surgery, and she passed away in February, 2 years ago, February 26th. And the guy, Bob Ketchum, who was recording the album and producing it, he got spinal cancer, and it was overwhelming. He decided not to take no chemo or anything, and it was just a matter of about 40 days, and he was gone. And then our bass player, his daughter, 26 years old, come down with a brain tumor. It's just like tragedy after tragedy.
Oh, Lord.
And you know, it's sad, but it's, you know, it's life. I mean, it's just strange occurrence of events, but it's made the album stronger overall. We've come up with some better songs than we would have had, and we're all really proud of it.
Yeah, tell me about how the process of putting it together. So, you always playing with the same guys in the band? And if so, who are they?
Our rhythm guitarist is Ken Williams, and he's from Mountain Home, Arkansas. He's actually the fire chief at Mountain Home, Arkansas Fire Department. Okay. Lonnie Williams, he's our bass player, and that's Ken's brother. And then we got actually 3 lead guitarists on it. It's Jim Massey and Carl Massey. They're both brothers, and they just have a natural God-given talent for the guitar. And then Tony Slater, he's a 22-year-old kid that's already forgot more about a guitar than most people will ever know. Sure. And then Anthony Raxnello on the drums. And it's just, man, we all started getting together and started putting these songs together. And I just told them all, I love a little bit of a southern rock sound, but I want to keep it somewhat country and not get too far away from the country. And these guys just put together a sound that's incredible. I mean, I hate to brag on my own album, but it's an incredible sound, and I'm just really proud of it. Carol Ann's helped me write on a few of the songs, correcting some of my grammar in some of them, because I'm not, you know, I'm a truck driver. She's the one that most of these songs, when I'm talking about coming home and being happy about coming home, that's why I'm writing for her.
How long have you guys been together?
We've been together 7 years.
Very good. And how did you come to music to begin with, Bill? I mean, was it something that you've always been around throughout your life?
Yeah, I had a lot of family, Todd, that played various instruments when I was a young child, and I always had a fascination for it. And I really loved seeing people dance and tap their feet and clap their hands, and it just hooked me at an early age. And I'd watch the old Buck Owens show and Hee Haw and all them, and I'd sit in front of the TV and sing with them and clap my hands, tap my feet with them. And Dad and Grandpa and my uncle went somewhere one time we were up in Springfield, Missouri, staying with my grandparents. Dad was in the military, and we were in on leave. Dad was in the Army, and we was in on leave, and they come back with an old Gibson guitar and give me that guitar. But they'd bought it at a yard sale while they were out somewhere. But and God, I wish to God I had that guitar now. I don't have it anymore, but beat the devil out of that guitar in front of the hee-haw, you know, and probably drove everybody nuts. But that's where it all started. I was probably 5, maybe 6 years old at that point.
Okay.
And I was hooked.
And how old are you today, Bill?
48 years old. Either that or I'm 18 with 30 years of experience, however you want to look at it.
That sounds good. That sounds about like most of us, right?
Yeah. I don't like this old age that's creeping up fast, brother.
You go back and tell me also here. I know we've heard the story about how you started. You got into music and it's kind of been with you ever since at a young age. How did you come to trucking?
Well, actually, I was a very young man. We had a local gas company, and a family friend owned it. Mm-hmm. And I made the mistake of telling him one time that I would love to learn how to drive the big trucks. And I had, of course, I had a lot of family members, uncles and such, a couple uncles, and my dad drove a little bit. But I made the mistake of saying I'd like to learn how to drive one of them trucks. And I was about 14 years old, and he said, well, come on up here to the yard. And next thing I knew, I was shuttling gas trailers back and forth with no driver's license. You know, you wouldn't even think about doing it today. Of course, this was the early 1980s. And but he was teaching me how to back a truck, and basically taught me everything I know about trucking. And I'm proud of it because he put me in a position of making a living for my family all my life, and I didn't even realize it back then.
Well, it certainly informs the record, no doubt. Pretty much every song on it is informed by that long experience in trucking, for sure.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of years of sitting and staring at interstate and yellow lines and white lines and thinking, and I really appreciate everybody that does this for a living, Todd. I mean, they're and some of my songs, if you listen into them a little bit, you'd think it's a sob story or something. You know, it's lonely, but it's that's certainly not the message of my songs. It's this is what we do. You know, we're just like factory workers. They're real important to America, and thank God we have them. I mean, and this is what we do, and we're just all really proud of it.
There's a certain there's a little bit of an ambivalence in some of these songs, like the one that I was thinking about in particular that sort of reflects that ambivalence. You kind of brought it up a minute ago, and that line in "We Drive On," which is kind of describes truckers as a bunch of loners that ain't worth a damn but being alone.
Yeah.
The song kind of sounds like it's kind of a tribute to trucking, and it's kind of this rock romp, but at the same time it's also got this sort of dirge.
Truck drivers make the world go round by driving around the world. Our eyes aimed high and steady hands upon the wheel. A fresh poured cup of coffee and some on radio. Watching the world go by, never showing how we feel. But we drive on, never knowing where we're going or when we'll make it home. Yes, we drive on. We're all a bunch of loners that ain't worth a damn at being alone.
We Drive On, actually, I wrote that Thanksgiving Day of 2013. I was sitting in Shawnee, Oklahoma, and which is only about 170 miles from my house. But as it turned out, I couldn't get home, and I'm sitting out here, and I'm like the only truck driver at this little old hole-in-the-wall truck stop. And I had that idea, you know, no matter what happens, we drive on, kind of like postal service, you know, come rain or snow or sleet or hail.
Sure.
And that's where that idea come from. Of course, I was back and forth on the phone with Carol Ann all day that day, just lonely. And I feel like that, you know, we're a bunch of loners that we're not worth a damn at being alone, you know. We want to get in that truck, but then you get in that truck and you're lonely because you're in the truck away from everything you love, you know.
Sure. And another one that comes to mind in a similar vein in some ways is Modern Day Kind.
That particular song, we dedicated it to Carol Ann's dad on the phone, and he was an old cowboy until he passed away, and he just he was kind of like the rest of us, driving these trucks. We never fit in no particular place, other than just doing what we do, and kind of a lone, what do you call it? Kind of a wayward spirit. You know, you do what you do, and you take care of your family.
Soul born 100 years too late. No horse or trail, just 18 wheels and interstate. 1,000,000 miles of white lines and construction lanes. Unlike the untamed land, those before him tamed. I wanna know how it feels to ride a stallion across the great divide, or how it feels to ford that river and see what's on the other side. If you should ask what's on my mind, or the meaning of my life, I'd say I wanna be a cowboy, but not the modern day kind.
But I was driving across Wyoming headed east, and I stopped in Nebraska, and I'd been on the phone with a buddy of mine, and he's an old cowboy too, and he's a truck driver, and he told me, he said, man, I'd love to be a cowboy still, but not the modern day kind. And he said, I wish I'd been born 100 years ago. And man, that just kept playing in my head, and I thought, you know, probably 100 years ago, the people that were driving wagons across the West out there were saying the same thing. You know, this modern stuff is just killing me. And I think it's just the bottom line. We're just not going to be completely happy with what we're doing or where we're at in life, no matter who you are or what you do. And it's not running anything down. I just think we always look back and think, hey, it'd be better if it was 100 years ago, when we know that's not the truth. I mean, you know, we're in one of the greatest times in America right now, and a lot of times we just don't realize that.
Which brings me to what might be my favorite song on the record, just for the humor involved, I think, which is that Mr. D.O.T. Now, I have a feeling I might know where some of that comes from, but yeah.
There's a slight bit of sarcastic overtone to that song. I already know I've done got your email about that one. Actually, I had written a song that was pretty negative about DOT over an experience I had with him out in Virginia. I filmed a video of it, and I had a hat on my head my company had given me a couple of days earlier that had our logo on it. And stupid me, I filmed that video, and I'm advertising my company, which is a pretty major size company, and I'm saying, you know, blank the DOT.
Right.
Anyway, I wound up taking that video down at the strong suggestion of my company. And I thought, well, if I can't make fun of the DOT, why don't I make fun of a renegade truck driver out here like we all want to be? Of course, the West Memphis scale over here, it was brought up and having all them guys in there, they're friends of mine. I've dealt with them for years and know most of them, and they're going to get a handful of free CDs because of that song. But
well, I-40 westbound out of Tennessee, across the Mississippi's where I need to be. I was hammered down Jacksontown, and he met me head on, and he flipped it around. He was slinging mud in the median.
It's just making fun of a renegade truck driver. Just, you know, he's just thinking, oh, God, just let me get home. Don't stop me. Don't do this right now. Because that's when things happen, right when you're on your way home and you don't have any time.
Yeah, and we'll
Never forget that one, that's for sure. After every mile I drive, Bill Weaver's second record was called Burning the Old School Down. And as you'll hear, we caught up at the 2018 Great American Trucking Show during a brief moment each of us had free to talk through some of the songs on that record. It wasn't easy getting it done, I'll say that. By that 2018 GATS, Bill Weaver and his music were everywhere, as you'll hear.
Well, once upon a time we could run them down the line, nowhere was too far to go. We took pride in our ride, we'd find some like-minded guys on the CB radio. We'd leave Oklahoma City, didn't seem like just a minute, we'd be rolling into old LA. It took the fun out of trucking, but expect me to feel lucky that I sit so much and don't get paid. Well, they're burning the old school down, torching our way of life. They poured diesel fuel all around the foundation, didn't take it very long to ignite. As the flames are getting hotter, better find ourselves some water and maybe we can put it out. Or we can watch the smoke roll while they torch all we know while burning the old school down. Heck it, boys.
I'm Todd Dills, this is Overdrive Radio, and that was a bit of the title track from Bill Weaver's new Burning the Old School Down record. Recorded in part with members of a band called the Stone Creek Four out of Kingsport, Tennessee, with whom Weaver performed 3 nights running at the Great American Trucking Show a couple weeks back now in Dallas. Today, we'll take a run through a few of the tracks on the new record, complete with Weaver's own commentary on the genesis of many of the songs, and his hopes for the record. Our conversation here was recorded at GATS, with a backdrop of idling diesels among the buses ferrying showgoers between the convention center and the truck parking lot and area hotels. To start, here's a bit of my marveling over what I came to call GATS 2018 before it was all said and done, i.e. the Bill Weaver Show. In my long walks back and forth across the show floor at the K. Bailey Hutchison Convention Center there over the 3 days of GATS, I must have happened upon and actually seen Weaver performing 4 or 5 different times, to say nothing of his evening truckers parking lot shows. At the same time, I can't even begin to say exactly how many times I heard his voice and guitar from across an aisle or two of exhibitors' booths. Weaver was, let's say, omnipresent this year in Dallas. And one quick note before the conversation starts, though she may need no introduction for some of you. When Weaver refers to Carol Ann, he's referring to his wife and partner in the music and business for the Henneth Transportation Leased Owner-Operator. I think you said you had more than 20 things going on here today?
23. 23.
No.
I actually had another one added this morning, so 24 now.
Okay, and are all these performances or just various and sundry?
Yeah, just booth performances.
Yeah, wow. And how on earth did you manage to put that much together for this thing?
I don't know. Carol Ann handles all of it. So
Right.
that's all I can say.
You're out there running the road, and she's back at home working the schedule out as
Bouncing emails.
Yeah.
Everybody does everything electronic.
Right. So, tell me about the record and how it came together. I was interested in hearing, why you chose that title track as the title track, and where that song came from too, and things of that nature.
Well, the Burning the Old School Down, actually this has been a 2-year deal. We released the 3-song EP with the Burning the Old School Down,
Right.
Tough Tested, and I'm on a Drug.
Right.
Actually last year at Matt's,
Right.
a year ago, so about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And the Burning the Old School Down is just kind of a form of me protesting all the change in the trucking industry, all the constant barrage of regulation. Mainly a jab at politicians, kind of keep some pride in these trucks. Well, we could shove it in the big hole, hammer down, let it roll, leaves shaking off the trees. We do our job, proudly straight pipes, singing loudly, bringing people all the things they need. We kept the wheels rolling, that's the job we were doing when you see us rolling through your town. Now with the politicians in it, didn't take them just a minute, started burning the old school down. Well, they're burning the old school down, torching our way of life. They poured diesel fuel all around the foundation, didn't take it very long to ignite. As the flames are getting hotter, better find ourselves some water and maybe we can put it out. Or we can watch the smoke roll while they torch all we know by burning the old school down.
In terms of the sort of themes that you hear throughout the entire record, I think it's a good one for the sort of to choose as a title track, because that's kind of the sense you get. You know, it's like it's all trucking, right? And it is that sense of I don't know, feeling pride in it and a little bit of sort of bitterness at the kind of added layers of difficulty that have come from a lot of what we've seen over the last decade or so. At the same time, you went out and in the middle of all this, in the last year or two, I think, and bought a truck.
Yeah. Well, I figure hauling hazardous material, liquid hazmat, rates have to go up. I mean, you look at the mathematics on it, it just has to go up.
Yeah.
And it has. I mean, I'm making more money right now than I've ever made in my life.
Right.
That's not the case with all these guys on e-logs.
Right.
But what we do, you can't just park on a ramp like a lot of people do. You know?
Right, sure.
Placard it up with explosive or flammable. You just can't park where a lot of people do.
Right.
So it's forced rates up, and I'm loving it. So.
Right. I think you told me things were doing really well here. I think it was several months ago now, but things are still clicking right along for you.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah. And is Hennef Transportation is
Hennef Transportation out of Oak Brook, Illinois.
Okay. How'd you come to them?
Actually, my buddy Taylor Barker worked for him. He's been trying to get me to come over there for years. And I finally checked him out and looked at some of his pay stubs and what was happening. I thought, yeah, this is it's worth looking into.
Okay.
And sure enough, wish I'd have been there 20 years ago.
Yeah, before you were doing the same freight basically, right? But different company.
Yeah, I worked for Grondike Transportation for a number of years, and then I left them. Carol Ann's mom got sick, and I come home and went to work for Ranger Boats, pulling bass boats for them for 2 years.
Okay.
And of course she passed, so I wanted to get back to the hazmat, 'cause that's where my heart's at, pulling a tank.
Your heart's in pulling a tank. But you wrote a song about bull haulers.
That come from, I've had a lot of people ask me to write a song about different things, flatbed and bull hauling, but my buddy Jerry Novak and another buddy Chuck Pruitt, they're friends, they're bull haulers.
Yeah.
They both wanted me to write a song about bull hauling. I had another one I was writing for them, and I sat down at the house and I was talking to Chuck Pruitt on the phone. Him and Jerry and I were all on the phone. And I asked Chuck, I said, well, what's the first thing you do before you get in that W-9? I mean, when you're loaded up. He said, well, I kick off my boots and put them in the side box. Well, I don't rhyme with nothing, but I thought he wipes off his feet and climbs in the seat of that big old W-9. And it just started. That song just fell out the end of the ink pen.
Okay.
It's that fast.
Cool.
Had a lot of fun with it. So.
Yeah.
Where the girl down in Abilene come from, I don't know. My wife's standing here, so I don't want to talk about her too much. Ironically, I had to stay the night in Abilene the other night. He wipes off his feet and climbs in the seat of a big old W-9. Well, any bull hauler knows you gotta keep the doors closed just to get them there on time. He's got a limp when he walks, kinda stern when he talks. Who it is ain't hard to tell. He's got a cowboy hat that's been to hell and back, and he keeps 1 foot on the rail. He's a high baller, an old bull hauler, no time for running slow. His cattle ain't got a whole lot of patience, and he needs to shine that chrome. He'll try to catch a few minutes sleep till he hears the cattle calling. But it's just what it does, it runs in his blood. Bull hauling.
The video for that came together pretty cool. It's done by Tex Crowley, James Crowley with Tex Meditation. It goes by Tex sometimes.
Done an awesome job.
Yeah. How long have you known him?
What, 3-4 years?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably since, I guess, ever since he's been doing this, all this video work.
Yeah.
It's,
He's getting better and better every day.
Yeah. He's doing it full time now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's climbed out of the truck. So.
Right.
Of course, we all want to support him all we can. I mean, he does great work. So.
Yeah. I noticed that. I mean, it totally went crazy online. That video when it posted. Does that kind of thing translate to actual moving of product for you?
It's been our online downloads. I can't keep up with them right now.
Okay. Well.
Ironically, bull hauling, of course, it's the biggest one right now, but I've seen a resurgence in my sales from the old CD too.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people's hearing of me that never heard of me.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But and then burning the old school down title track, they're
doing really well.
We've had several thousand downloads of bull hauling.
Yeah. It's a single track.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a single track off of it, and several downloads of the full album.
Right.
I won't be able to say all those numbers for about 90 days.
Weaver's prior record was the well-covered and, I know, listened to Every Mile I Drive, featuring songs like I'm Rollin' and Mr. D.O.T. Search Weaver's name and the album's title at overdriveonline.com to take a run through it with Weaver from 2016 when it was released, part of the Overdrive Radio podcast series. The prior album, as previously mentioned, was recorded in the same fashion as was the new record, ultimately mixed and produced at the Tune Designer studio in Covington, Georgia, which Weaver describes in the part of our conversation that follows here.
They're in Covington, Georgia, just southeast of Atlanta. Got off by 20. It's Tune Designer Studios.
Right.
And, I actually come on to them guys. Carol Ann found them online, and what they do, you send them a song, and they'll put together tracks for it. You listen to them, prove them if you like it. You can go down there and record your vocal with it, or you got recording equipment home like I do.
Right.
So they send me back tracks, and I record them, send them down, they patch it all together.
So it all kind of came together that way. Then it wasn't a process of you being down there in that studio. Then you did all the work that you needed to do at your in your own home studio. Okay.
Yeah, and in my truck.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll do about all the writing in the truck. And, I do some writing at home now, but Carol Ann run on these guys and got me hooked up with them. And man, the first song they sent me back was "I'm Rolling" off my first CD.
Yeah.
And man, when I heard it, so I told them the sound of it. It's like they crawled inside my brain.
Your picture on the dashboard, thinking about how long I'll be before I get home. Well, I set my visor for the sunrise as it burns into my eyes, and the thought of you starts burning on like more better than I am.
I mentioned earlier that those kind of two currents kind of running through the record of this sort of feeling of pride in the job, in the work of trucking, but then also the sort of angst that goes along with that in a certain way. And I thought that there's a great song, that 2 Hours Out, I believe it's called. It sort of encapsulates both of those in a lot of ways. Tell me about that song, where it came from.
I wrote that song at my house. I've got one place in our kitchen. We don't smoke in the house.
Right.
So I've got a little corner where I smoke in the house that sucks up the stove fan.
Okay.
So I sit in the kitchen, and there's a clock right up there in front of me, and there's an oven over on the living room wall, like you say.
Okay.
And when you're fixing to go out, you're trying to wait until the last minute to leave, and you're just watching that second hand and that minute hand. And I was thinking, you're sitting in the kitchen watching the clock tick, counting the hours down. Because you don't want to leave.
Right.
And once you get gone, you know, after you're out there that first night, you're back in the swing of it.
Right.
But it's, you know, it's like that one line it says, that first night out, you always feel alone. It's just lonely.
Yeah. I think the repeated refrain in there is 2 hours out to
6 weeks gone.
From 6 weeks gone. Yeah, 2 hours out from 6 weeks gone.
That's a long time to know you're going to be taking off.
Yep.
So I'm usually gone 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks worth.
Got a load to troll on southbound and I sure don't want to go. That first night out you always feel alone. Going down that same old road I always travel. Lord, I've been down it 1,000 times or more. Got a sinking feeling in my heart, I ain't even left the house. 2 hours out from 6 weeks gone. I'm 2 hours out from 6 weeks gone. Burning up the road to spend a few days home. Well, it's nearly time to head down that road. Well, I'm 2 hours out from 6 weeks gone.
Sounds more dramatic. It's not an unrealistic number either for a lot of guys, right?
I know a lot of these guys and gals that's gone 4 or 5 months.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they do it. I admire them.
And then you mentioned this song earlier, but the sort of the counterpoint to that loneliness and isolation is like the drug of it, right? Like the drug of the road. And that song, I'm on a drug, like.
Actually, Tony Justice and I talking.
Okay.
We'll be talking. We're like, man, if we could get out of these trucks and do anything, we'd be doing it. But we know we wouldn't. And that's Tony said. It's like a drug addiction.
Yeah.
And I think we was fighting for that line. Who was going to write it first? And I outran him on that one.
You beat him to it.
But I paid tribute to him in the last verse. So
okay. Right. Right.
I just rode west through Knoxville, what did I see? I got passed by a Pete named Purgatory with the sound of Tony Justice on the radio. He's hauling ass and apple pie moonshine. He'll be trucking across Texas later tonight and back to East Tennessee with a little luck. He's on the drug. Well, it's that thrill. Fella holding the wheel, pushing down a pedal on 80,000 pounds of steel. Watching the world go by on our left and on our right. We'll go home now and then, and after 3 days we want to do it again. 'Cause it's the one thing we all hate, but we love. I'm on a drug. All trucking.
And in classic trucking record fashion, Weaver ends burning the old school down with, what else? A Christmas song called How the Truckers Saved Christmas. I asked him whether there was a story behind that one or if it was just exactly what you'd expect from a song with that title.
I got to do a Christmas song and I got to make fun of the DOT at the end.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to where children could listen to it.
Sure.
So it's dirtiest thing in it, you know, DOT got a Christmas stock that was full of reindeer poop. It's just silly.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. You know, and DOT guys will laugh at it too.
Oh yeah.
Well, they've got me back here inspecting me. Oh yeah, that was a good. Wait right here, Mr. Weaver.
And we had to make things right. Well, they still talk about that Christmas Eve when high up on their roofs they heard the sounds of a Detroit diesel engine instead of reindeer hooves. And a duty tire tracks on a snowy rooftop, no doubt from a big old truck. And some driver in flip-flops sliding down a chimney that never once got stuck. Well, the ordeal finally over, and old Santa, he got released. He gave every driver a thermos of coffee and the keys to a brand new Beat. And a special set of studded snow tires for driving high up on them roofs.
But all the DOT got was Christmas stockings that were full of reindeer poop. Cause you know us drivers, to get it done, we work all night and day. That's how the truck drivers save the Christmas holiday. Merry Christmas, y'all.
And that's a wrap on Bill Weaver's Burning the Old School.
We miss you, Bill. Find links to Weaver's music in the show notes for this podcast wherever you're listening. Overdrive Radio is on Spotify and SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, Overdrive's Facebook page, and any listening platform, really. Leave us a review there if you're enjoying these, and a big thanks in advance for it. As always, big thanks for listening. Overdrive Radio is a production of Overdrive, the voice of the American trucker. It's edited and produced by me, Todd Dills, with the acoustic guitar and other support of trucker-songwriter Long Haul Paul Marhoefer, who shared his own recollection of Weaver. You can read that at overdriveonline.com. The theme is Legend of the Snake Man by Marhoefer, featuring the guitar work of Travis, the Snake Man himself, Whammick, Terry Two Socks Richardson on bass, keys by Tishomingo Jim Whitehead, and on drums, Andrew Marshall. The podcast is backed up further by Overdrive's own social media coordinator, Jasmine Campbell, senior editor Matt Cole, executive editor Alex Lockey, and video editors Lawson Rudsell and Andrew Gwynn. To take us out, I'm rolling. Bill Weaver. Shake a stranger's hand today, everybody.
Trying to get back to you, that's why I'm rolling. It's hard work and I guarantee that it's a damn hard life, but still I'm rolling. From the first time that I shipped the gears, it burned into my soul. Guess you could say that's how